Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at a support and resistance trade to the downside. Let me get these orders all spaced out correctly here. So we'll take 2 off just ahead of that swing low right there, 1174.2. Next target's going to be all the way back down to these lows, 72.6. Maybe go a couple ticks ahead of that just because it bounced there earlier over here, at around 1012 or so. And then the next target, the last target's going to be just ahead of the lows, down at 1171.7. So right now, looking to the downside here, we're short at 75.5. Stop is up above that high 76.5, and just kind of looking for us to start rejecting this area of resistance. The whole morning, pretty much, if we zoom out, you can kind of see it's been down most of the morning, right? I mean, it's been kind of sinking all day. We came off the highs earlier this morning at about 7 o'clock, and we never really looked back. Had this really strong push down, a little bit of a pause, another strong push down. We're in that pause period, and I'm looking to hop in short in this pause period to push it right back down to new lows again. So looking for kind of the third push lower, if you will, on this trade here. So just kind of looking and confirming this area of resistance at 75.9. We just tapped it again, and if we start turning down again, we're just more and more people are starting to confirm this level here. So we're in a little bit early on the aggressive second test there at 75.5, but if you see another test here and it starts dropping down, there's no reason to add on or put on another position right below that low. And then if we do it again, another one below that low, and just keep doing it until we start falling off or it's proven wrong. But right now we're in the trade. We've got our target set up. If we hit that first area of support down here and we take that target there, we'll take 2 off at 13. That'll give us 26. One more target down at the lows here will give us 27. And then one more target a little bit lower down will give us 38. So if we get these targets filled to the downside, we're looking at 26 at the first one, 27 at the second, and then 38 at the third. That'll give us 91 ticks on the trade. So potentially really, really solid trade to the downside here. Just need to see it kind of work out. We're in that consolidation area. We've seen this happen before, where it may take a little bit of time. You can see back here, it bounced off and then it came back and fell off and then came back and fell off and, it kind of came back again. So we might see that same situation here. But the idea is these highs back here probably won't be contested. It may come back, it may come back, it may come back all at once, but it's probably not going to stop us out of this one, at least if it wants to continue the trend that it's been following. So we've got our targets in, we've got our stop in. Now it's just time to wait. So we'll be back in a little bit, see if we can start hitting some of these targets. All right, so we just got that target filled down at these lows here. Now, this is a situation where we've got a little bit of leniency, okay? So we took our first target down here at 13. Our stop is at -10. At the point in time that we're in right now, technically, if it did come back to stop us out, we'd be up, 6 ticks or so. Now, the problem in the reason why I'm bringing this up is I don't want to move my stop to break even because we've already seen this come back several times before. Right? I mean, it came back. If you would have gotten short here, it came back. It would have stopped you out, and then you missed that big move down. If we go back in time again, we can see it happen back here. If you got short up here, it wasn't as bad, but it still came back on to a potential test. And depending on if you were trailing your stop down, you may have got stopped out before you missed this rocket ship to the downside. So I really don't want to have this happen on the trade, and I'm willing to give back some profit if that happens. So I'm going to leave my stop where it is. Leave it right back above this high right here, 76.5. We can see that had you done that a short up here, it did double top, but it wasn't contested. So that's kind of what I'm looking for again to happen here. So, give it a little bit of room, see if, that way we don't get stopped at a break even, which happens quite often, and then all of a sudden you see it drop 70 ticks, right? So we don't want to see that happen. So I'll leave my stop where it is, with the knowledge of the fact that I may give back some profits here. So my stop is still at 76.5. If we do start falling and push a little bit lower, start really breaking this low here at 74.1, especially if you fill this next target at 72.8, then I'll be more than happy to move my stop to break even. But I'm a little bit lax in doing it right now. I do think that it's going to be a little bit sloppy here. It's proven that to us several times before. So we'll give it a little bit more time, see if we can get that target filled down there, then move the stop to break even, and look if we can get that final target back at 71.7. All right, we're coming into our target here at these lows, and man alive, what an awesome example of why I didn't want to move my stop to break even. It would have stopped us out to the absolute tick at 75.5, and we would have missed this entire fall down. That's why, use the previous stuff that you've seen before. I mean, earlier in the day, we saw this happen so many times. There's nothing telling you that it's probably not going to do it again. You know, you've got to expect it to follow through and keep doing what it's been doing all day. And this is an awesome example. So if we would have moved our stop to break even or break even plus whatever, we would have been stopped out to the tick and missed this 22, 23, 24 tick move down to our target at 27. We haven't filled it yet, but we wouldn't even be in the trade anymore if we moved to break even. So use that context. That's a really important part of this trade. We are coming down into our target here, so I would like to see us fill that relatively soon. We did offset that open by, 3 ticks or so. There we go. So we got that target filled. Perfect. So now that we have that target filled, now I'm willing to go to break even, maybe even break even plus 1, given this fluctuation that we've seen back here. And now we're just kind of waiting for it to ride out and see if we can get that final target back at 71.7 filled. We're hitting these areas, and this is exactly what I wanted to avoid earlier from getting stopped out. Now I don't want to see it come back. Right. So at this point, we've fallen far enough. We started breaking down some of these lows. We're making lower lows, lower highs. I really don't want to see it come back and make a higher high all of a sudden. So now I'll move my stop to break even plus 1, just to lock in a little bit of profit. So now we're just kind of sitting on hands, waiting for a little bit of a push farther down, see if we can get that 71.7 filled. All right, we're coming back down to our target. It hit it earlier, never filled it. It hit it to the tick and then bounced up. Again, with all of the fluctuation that we've been seeing today, I was willing to leave my stop at break even. Normally, I would just pull the plug, if it gave us a reversal bar, which it did. So I wouldn't blame anybody if they got out around 72 quarter or so. That would have still gotten you 30 ticks or so. But with all the fluctuation that we've been seeing before, a lot of times it came down to that low, fluctuated a little bit, and then broke down. Did the same thing back here where, it tried coming back, fluctuated, and then broke the low. I was kind of anticipating the same thing to happen here, which it did, so it came down near those lows, fluctuated back up. You're expecting it now to come back down and hit those lows. Fortunately, it didn't stop us out. It came kind of close, had a steeper pullback than I was really hoping to see. But we did end up falling back down, getting that target filled. So 38 ticks on the final one. That's the trade. It gives us 91 ticks to the downside. Beautiful trade on the Russell. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.